Hello, welcome. I am super pumped to be going live to you from here in Madrid, Spain. And I'm excited to answer questions. I'll kind of share like how things are going for us here in Spain, what we're eating. I'm currently filming a what I eat video. That's going to be the next video that comes out for you all. So we can talk about that. Like, how's it going for you? Have you tried carnivore? Is carnivore working for you? And let's chat about, are you stuck? Where I can help you hopefully make a few tweaks and find out how to make this lifestyle work and sustainable for you. So hope you are doing well. It is 8 p.m. here in Madrid. So I think actually as the live goes on, I think the sun doesn't set here until 9:30. So it should stay light out for most of this, but we might see the sun slowly starting to set the longer this goes. But I know that it is lunchtime back in the States. I tried to schedule this during the week where those of you maybe that are working or something could join and be able to still join during the day, because evenings in the US is middle of the night for us here in Spain. So for the next 3 months while I'm here, live streams that I'm doing will be around this time. So thanks for joining me anyway. Looks like we have a good group here. I see lots of familiar faces from locals already. I see Rachel and Vives and all kinds of Jackie and all kinds of recognizable faces. And to those of you that I don't know yet, welcome. We have a little bit of a different setup today. I am using like the camera that's built into the laptop, so maybe that's not quite as strong, but give me a thumbs up just to make sure that I know you can hear me and that everything's going well. So yeah, I'm super pumped to hang out with everybody tonight. Or today, yeah, I see, oh, yep, Rachel's in the UK, so she's on the same time zone as me. So that's really awesome. Idaho, lots of good stuff from Idaho. How many, Linda is asking, how many meals do you eat per day? I typically eat 2 meals a day. That's pretty standard for me. It's very rare. Maybe if I'm traveling for work and I'm kind of getting little small meals, I might take advantage to eat 3 meals. Chris has always eaten 1 meal a day. We've been doing carnivore for 6 years. And I would say 99% of the time, maybe the exception is like we go on vacation and he'll eat 2 meals, but he has eaten 1 meal a day for the entire time. That has already changed here in Spain. It's really not, with the small kitchen that we're cooking out of and we eat out some, and just kind of the lifestyle that we're living here where they eat dinner very late. I mean, we actually had a very early dinner today at 7 p.m. because I'm doing this live stream here at 8, but typically we have not been eating dinner until 8:30, closer to 9 o'clock here in Spain. And Chris didn't want to eat like a big meal right before he goes to bed. So really for the first time in 6 years, he has been eating 2 meals a day, which has been a little bit of an adjustment, but it's been fun. And it kind of makes sense. Like, we've adapted to the late dinners and the late schedule here a lot easier than I thought we would. So it's fun. So I would say at this point, both of us are eating 2 meals. As far as like advice on how many meals, this isn't what Linda's asking, but just to kind of relay on that, how many meals should you eat? I mean, that depends on your schedule and your lifestyle. So I think some type of intermittent fasting is great. However, the most important thing is that you're not under eating. And so in the beginning, especially, you should eat as many meals as you need to eat in order to get in enough protein and calories for the day to make sure that you're not under eating, would be my biggest suggestion. How are you liking Spain? We have settled into a really solid routine and are just having a wonderful time. You know, the kids were a little nervous coming in, but I think very quickly they have found a really great routine. We got them all signed up for jujitsu, like within a 10-minute walk of our apartment. There is a jujitsu studio. So the kids are going several times a week. Chris is going. They're just staying active that way. The kids are also taking Spanish classes 3 times a week. Their jujitsu class is taught in Spanish. So they're getting, hopefully, we'll all come home. I'm taking Spanish classes at work. I go to the office every day, but my office is like a block and a half from our apartment. So I'm able to come home for lunch sometimes. And it's just, it's going really well. We're having a really good time. And everybody that I talk to here is saying like we came at the perfect time for the perfect weather. So April, May, June is just the best weather in Spain for sure. And, July and August just gets miserably hot here and most people leave the city and then they actually do experience like a decent winter. So right now and in the fall are the times that you want to come to Madrid. Okay, let me catch up. I'm trying to use a mouse and there's no mouse. I have like a paper menu I'm using as my mouse pad. So bear with me, y'all, and say that. Okay, good. I'm interested in joining locals. Would you say it's more of a support group or an accountability group or all of the above? Those of you that are in the group, because I see lots of you here already, mention and comment what you think it is. But I would say it's both of them. I make a post every day in the mornings just to try to get you thinking. Today, we're kind of reflecting on, we're halfway through the month. How are things going so far? Did we get a little off track? Like, let's reevaluate before the month gets away from us. We celebrate, I talk a lot about celebrating wins. We just really support each other. Sometimes we'll do challenges, but we definitely don't do like, hey, everybody in the group has to do this challenge and this protocol and this routine. And that is simply because that's just not my MO. Like, I just don't do one thing works for everybody. I think that some people fast together, and somebody will make a post in the group and just say like, hey, we're going to do a fast this week. Anybody want to join me? And then a bunch of people will do it together. And there's a group of people right now doing like the B&E challenge, and that's working well. But as far as the group as a whole, everybody has to do what works for them. And we all just kind of support each other and encourage each other. It's kind of like having a Facebook group outside of Facebook, and, no crazy people, no negative people. You're not going to post your meal and somebody goes, you're having seasonings. I can't believe it. That's not carnivore. Or you eat something, we just are all there to encourage each other. And then there's a lot of like, hey, this isn't working. I'm not losing weight. What should I do? And I can weigh in and try to help you figure out what's going on. And other people can jump in and share their experiences. There's several people this week that are dealing with low energy. So we're all kind of just encouraging each other and sharing their experiences. So whatever that ends up being, it's kind of like all of the best things of the Facebook groups where and they also kind of one-on-one contact with me without having to deal with all that. So while I'm mentioning that, I do want to mention to you, before we get too far into this, the sponsor of this video, which is LMNT. You guys know what a big fan of that I am. And we brought with us to Spain a full 3 months supply of LMNT. Chris is pretty much living on the citrus and the orange. We also brought some chocolate caramels, which he loves to put in cold brew coffee, but we haven't been buying it pre-made at the store. So he actually hasn't been having that since we've been here, just because we haven't been finding that coffee. But actually, and it's been the kids drink that sometimes as like with water and just as a hot chocolate replacement, but they haven't been doing that. I typically drink the unflavored version, which is just the sodium, magnesium, and potassium. That can help with energy, can help prevent muscle cramps. We have been walking here a ton. That's one of the things the kids are just like shocked. We take the metro, but you walk everywhere. And it's going to get really hot. We went to the zoo. We walked all day. The sun was really brutal. We all had a bunch of extra electrolytes that day. And then I love the grapefruit flavor. The watermelon flavor is super sweet. So if you like a sweet flavor, go for watermelon. And raspberry is also kind of sweet. The citrus and the orange are less sweet. Obviously, they're more like a Gatorade type flavor. But the grapefruit is like tart. It's not too sweet. This is a smaller, I didn't bring my big old Stanley. I didn't want to scream American everywhere I went by carrying my Stanley with me everywhere. So I brought a smaller water bottle. And so in this size water bottle, I will just put a half a packet of LMNT. And then I'm not drinking diet soda here, it's been the devastating withdrawal because they don't have Diet Coke here. They have Diet like Coke Light, but it's not the same thing. Anyway, I actually have been drinking the flavored versions, which are sweetened with stevia. And so you can get the free sample pack. I put the link here and I'll pin it. Ooh, I forgot to pin it in the comments, but go to drinkelement.com /LAURAESPATH and you can get a sample pack. You can try all of the flavors and they will tell you which ones, you could try which ones you like best. They have 100% money back guarantee was what I was trying to say. So if you order the grapefruit, which everybody I know, this is their favorite. I mean, my mom, my friend Ashley, who you guys know, we love the grapefruit. But if you get one that you don't like, they'll send you a new flavor. Super simple. They are the best. So I highly recommend you checking that out. Cool, good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. That is let's see. Oh, awesome. Ada says, hey, Laura, I started carnivore diet last Monday, and as of today, I lost 8 pounds. Let's give Ada a round of applause. Congratulations. That is super, super exciting. Sandra said, I eat mostly 80-20 ground beef. Should I add butter? So I'm assuming most people drain the fat out of their ground beef, because a lot of people, I would get very upset stomach if I was to eat the rendered fat from ground beef. It would just go right through me. So it depends on what you're eating the rest of the day, and also what your energy levels are. Kind of fat is one of those things that I personally don't think you should have a fat goal or try to hit a fat macro. I think fat is a lever where you can add more fat for boost in energy. If you're constipated, if you have Hashimoto's or thyroid issues or hormone issues, like boost your fat up a little bit. If your weight loss is stalled, you could try leveraging it down. If you have diarrhea, you could go down on the fat a little bit. So if you're feeling great and you're eating ground beef and you're loving it and everything's going well, like I don't think you need to add extra butter. Also, it would depend, I think, on what else are you eating in the day. Like, what is your other meals? Is your other meal something really fatty, or is your other meal boneless, skinless chicken thighs, or chicken breasts? That's a pretty lean day, and you likely would feel better adding some fat. And I think adding butter obviously makes everything taste better. So there's nothing wrong with adding a little butter every now and again, but I don't think butter should be your number one fat source. I am not a fan of like eating a stick of butter a day, or like having one at some point. Several tablespoons as a condiment for cooking, like that's all fantastic. But if you're trying to really boost up your fat, personally, I think you should focus on pork bellies and chicken skins and beef fat and chuck roasts, and look for like a better, bigger fat source than butter. Oh, I love this. Rita. Hi, Rita. She said, I made it, Laura. She's in locals. I completed a 51-hour fast. Congratulations. That's awesome. My goal was 24s, but I just waited till I was truly hungry before I ate. That is fantastic. Congratulations. I know that was a really big goal for you. Fantastic. How do you combat boredom? I can only seem to stay diligently carnivore for about a month, and then I want fruit and carbs again. For me, that combating boredom, you guys know I love eating 2 meats at the same time. To me, it's like I can have a unlimited variety of meats when I do 2 different meats at the same times. And then sauces and seasonings are big for me. I don't have an autoimmune condition. I don't have any major issues that I react to. As long as I keep those seasonings and sauces fairly clean, then I focus on those. So for me, I could have the same piece of meat and eat it about 10 times in a row and use different seasonings or sauces or feta cheese or buffalo sauce and, just mozzarella cheese and pepperonis on top. Like I could just do unlimited things with toppings. I would say that, I have, literally months of meal ideas in old videos when I've done those, like what I eat in a day. And it's like a month of meals in 2 videos, like weeks and weeks, literally months of videos. So I would just go back to, if you just need some ideas that are hopefully help keep it simple, just watch some of those old videos. Cause in about 20 minutes, I'll show you like 10 meals. And it's like, here's what I'm eating today. Here's what I'm eating today. Here's what I'm eating today. And those can be really helpful, but I would just say, try to think of a new method too. If you cook in a pan or a skillet or a grill or a air fryer, like how can you mix up cooking methods and combinations of things, and just try to get really good. Because if you could cook yourself like a perfect steak, my guess is you will get less sick of it if you kind of get better at it. Okay, sorry, I'm like super behind on comments. Oh, I just clicked on this one. I've been thinking about starting carnivore, but I don't know the correct way to start. I did what I thought was right, but maybe I'm not eating the right foods. I was eating eggs and bacon. Eggs and bacon is a great way to start. I think that is fantastic. You can start really like unlimited ways. I think there's two options really. You can go like gradually cutting out other foods, go down to meat and other things. It kind of depends on your reasons. If your main reason is weight loss, then I think going for a gradual cutting things out is probably not that big of a deal. But you also could just like go all in meat, salt, water, and like use it as a true elimination diet. Then I think those are kind of your two options. I think in the beginning, it's just cutting out all sugar and veggies and everything and sticking with like meat in general and eating as, 2 or 3 times a day, depending on what your hunger level is at first. And then I think the biggest thing is just finding a way that you can stick to it and then making tweaks over time. So you're doing eggs and bacon for a meal, great. Have some chicken wings and a burger for the next meal. Have some steak and pork belly, or have, just mix it up, keep it interesting for a little while, and then kind of see how you go. I think making small tweaks as you go. Don't think you have to just like do this crazy protocol and then all of a sudden it's not working, so you give up entirely. Just start with what you think is sustainable and make small little changes over time. I think sometimes we try to, and I did this, but I'm really against that now. I think sometimes we try to just like change everything in our whole life all at the same time. And like talking back to locals, the biggest thing that I try to help people on is finding one non-negotiable thing to stick to. Like, yes, fasting is important. Yes, diet's important and exercise and all of these things are important, but you also have to like be able to stick to this and finding like one little thing that's, one thing that you can focus on. So just, don't eat sugar. Maybe you don't eat sugar is your biggest focus right now. And as long as you don't eat sugar, like let's call it a win and just keep moving forward. Let's see here. I'm super behind. I wanted to mention too, if I'm not seeing your question and you want to make sure I see it, if you send a super chat, it will pop up and I will answer that one absolutely first. And I will try to get to as many as I can. That is another benefit of locals. If you don't want to send super chats and I'm not answering your questions, I do live streams once a week like this in locals, and I answer all the questions. And you also could post a question to me any time of day or night. And then as long as I'm not, whenever I answer multiple times a day, I go into locals and answer all the questions that people have, and then other people answer them. So you don't want to do that here. It's not a big deal. Come to locals. That's exactly where I answer all questions. If you've DM'd me on Instagram or commented on a YouTube video, I will absolutely never see it. And I'm very sorry to say that. But my life is crazy busy, and we all are. And it's why I prioritize spending time in that group with people who are supporting us and then also like very invested in trying to heal. And you don't have to deal with all the craziness of the internet. I love organ meat. Also, somebody asked about organs. Do you incorporate organ meat for nutrition? No, I never have. Not one. Actually, so I was going to say not once, but that's a lie. When I came to Spain, if you guys follow me on Instagram, when I came to Spain in October, I went to this restaurant. It's a Michelin star restaurant called La Tasqueria, and that means offal, like OFFAL in Spanish, and it stands for organ meats. And I had this like full-on tasting menu that was like this 10-course meal that was all organ meats. They brought you like octopus or hearts and this like sheep's hearts, and then they brought you like this lamb's brain ravioli, and then they brought you this like they ended up bringing out this like sous vide and deep fried full pig's head, and then they tear the whole thing apart and we ate pig's brains, and it was like the most wild meal I've ever had in my life. That's about it. So no, other than that, I do not incorporate organs in any other circumstance. And it was this like it was a wild experience, like one of those meals that is like a one-time in a lifetime thing, but no. And Chris is not going there. We're in Spain now. I'm not going back. It was a once in a lifetime thing. I am definitely not going back. I wanted to mention too, wait. See, jumping in first. Amber, thank you, Amber. What was Krista's fasting protocol for reversing his diabetes? That's an excellent question. His and my mom also, I want to throw this out there too, because you have a male and female perspective. Chris was like 45 at the time, 40, yeah, how old is he now? Like he was probably like 40, maybe 43 at the time when he was working to reverse his diabetes. My mom was in her 60s. They both followed the Dr. Jason Fung fasting protocol that he talks about in the Diabetes Code book, which is basically 36 hours plus. So Dr. Jason Fung, if like this is the protocol that we followed, and I'm telling you to go do your own research, but we learned from him. He really talks about the fact that you have to fast more than 36 hours in order to really tap into that stored glucose and like that get all the stuff out of your fatty liver and really access all of that deep stored sugar. And some people in my locals community were mentioning that like, hey, they do a fast and after like 24 to 36 hours, they see their blood sugar spike. That can happen because you're really accessing that deep stored sugar. So that would be something like, I would recommend you getting his book, but there is something about incorporating a longer, like 36 to 48 hour fast. So 36 hours is really difficult actually, unless you do like breakfast to dinner the next day. Most of the time we have just found that doing lunch, skip a day and lunch works really well. So Chris was looking to get past 36 hours, but found that 48 hours actually was more effective and easier for him. And my mom did the same thing where they would eat like lunch on Sunday, you skip eating Monday, and then you eat lunch on Tuesday again. That worked really well for our routine. And then also just for like reversing his diabetes. They were doing that once or twice a week in the beginning because they were just both very aggressively trying to do that as quickly as possible. And then he was able to get off of his diabetes medications within a couple of months. And my mom had been carnivore and keto, like mostly carnivore for about 6 months. And she just could not get her blood sugar lowered until she started incorporating that fasting as well. So the minute she started, I think carnivore is an amazing tool and it takes out the carbs and it reduces your, helps reduce all those things. But if you have severe, if you have diabetes, I think that unless you incorporate some type of fasting, it's unlikely that you're going to like see quicker results because you're not ever going to give your body time to access that like really deep stored sugar, which is what's causing you to be diabetic in the first place. So I would recommend his book, but then also we used the 48-hour fasting protocol for that. Yes, Dr. Jason Fung, F-U-N-G. That is it. Awesome. Okay, good. Let me see. I'm catching up now. Mike here, thank you so much. I have psoriasis and starting carnivore on Monday. Do I start with beef only? Do I start with beef only to start or add egg and lamb and fish from day one? Because of psoriasis, I would cut out eggs at first as well, and as well as all seasonings. This is a circumstance that because you are trying to tackle an autoimmune condition or you're trying to tackle some like skin issues and inflammation, things like that, I definitely would start with no seasonings and no eggs and no dairy. I think beef, lamb, I would say fish and other like meats would likely be fine. I know a lot of people, if you wanted to get really extreme, you could do what they say is like ruminant animals of beef and lamb, maybe venison, something like that from day one. I would assume something like a fish or chicken or pork. Some people who are very sick, okay, the average person can have chicken and pork just fine. But some people who are very sick do react to things like chicken and pork. So the sicker you are, the more strict you're going to have to be from the beginning. But I think starting with just meat and salt would be a great place to start. I do think, though, dealing with something like psoriasis, I would cut out dairy. I would cut out eggs. I would not use seasonings for a while until you just clear things up and establish a baseline for how things are going. But my other question is, why are you waiting till Monday? Today is Thursday, and you might have another reason, but anybody who's thinking about starting carnivore on Monday, not necessarily my care, no offense, but why are you waiting to start until Monday? I would say that I promise you, one last weekend of you eating whatever you want and getting it out of your system, or one last happy hour with friends, or one last margarita night, or whatever, like that is not going to make a difference. You are not going to be successful this time just because you gave yourself one last binge weekend and had one more, pizza night or whatever. Like, you've any of those foods you think you need to have one more time, you've already had them. They will be there again. Okay. There is zero reason why you waiting until an arbitrary Monday is going to make a difference in you being successful this time. I'm talking to everybody now. I'm not criticizing the poor person who asked the question. Okay. But I'm just saying, those lies that you tell yourself of like, I got to get it out of my system. I'm going to start Monday and then it's going to work this time because I waited. No, actually, if you start on a Thursday, do you know how serious you are? If you start, or tomorrow's Friday, do you know how serious you are? If you actually start on a Friday, you must be serious. Do you know that by Monday, you probably will be through like a big part of the transition? You think you need to go grocery shopping first? You got meat in your house somewhere. You don't need to go grocery shopping and buy all the things. We think that we have to order the books and buy the supplements and order the stuff on Amazon. Do you know how many times I have bought a list of things that I thought would like get me to be successful this time because I bought the things and no, you got meat in your house somewhere. There is zero magic that's going to happen between now and Monday that's going to make you be successful all of a sudden. Okay. You mean business if you start on a Friday. So start tomorrow, and by Monday, you will be happier. I think I started March 18th, 2016, and I'm pretty sure I don't remember if that was a Monday or not. But that's my point. It doesn't even matter if it was a Monday or not. By Monday, you're going to be 3 days in. And then by Wednesday of that week, when you're going to be already a week in, or 5 days in, and you're going to be doing so much better. So anybody here who's watching this video thinking they're going to do some research and start on Monday, you are starting tomorrow, and that's it. All you got to do is make it till Monday, and look at the momentum that you're going to have built by Monday. You're going to be so much more ahead. Also, let's just say this. If I started really eating bad, I could easily gain 10 pounds by Monday, like maybe 20 if I really went for it, like of inflammation, water weight, bloat. If you think that like having a good cheat weekend this weekend, do you know how much farther behind you are going to start than if you just started right now? Okay. That is my advice to you. There we go. Lots of people. I started on a Tuesday. Veeb started on a Monday. I started on a Friday and I felt so much better by Monday. This is my point. Y'all start today. You are going to be much more serious than if you started then. I saw a question. I saw Veebs is answering. Veebs is the best, by the way. She's always answering other people's questions in here somewhere. But she said, my cracked heels are gone. I don't know who she's talking about, skin issues. But she's answering a lot of questions if I'm not seeing them. Sorry if I'm missing it. Rita said, I'm in locals. I'm consistently fast 6 to 8 hours. I try for 24 hours. This week, I finally made it to 48 hours plus and some extra. We're super proud of you. Now I'm confident that I could do a 36 to 48 hour fast once a week. I totally agree. And I do think personally once a week is a good balance to make sure that you're not over fasting and then stressing your body out and then under eating. I do think that's really important. I think Chris, and my mom, their diabetes was severe enough. They probably could have got away with fasting for 48 hours twice in the very beginning. But I think that I probably wish I would have stuck to once a week in the beginning and not done it quite as much as I did. I saw another question. I'm actually how about Premier protein shakes in the morning and then meat, eggs, salt, and butter? I think ideally you are eating your food. So if you can eat enough meat, I think that's best. I think you should eat meat instead of trying to drink shakes. However, I know a lot of people have a hard time eating enough in the day. They just physically cannot eat enough in a day. And then by the end of the day, they've eaten 800 calories, 1,000 calories, and they're just super under eating for the day. That's not ideal either. That's worse than that. So if I recommend protein shakes in the situation that you just cannot eat enough in a day, or they're great for like you guys know I use Equip protein to make protein pancakes, and Nathaniel eats those for breakfast like pretty much most days. My mom eats those pancakes too. My mom uses the protein pancakes, and she turns them into like a wrap, and then put deli meat and cheese in it and makes herself like a wrap. She'll make them bigger and make them into hamburger buns. You know, they're really effective. Those are good tools for that. I think Premier Protein is a okay option of protein. It's not the cleanest ever, but there's definitely worse options. My grandparents live in West Virginia. They're in their 90s. They need protein. I'm really focused on trying to get them enough protein. I send them a shipment of Premier Protein drinks once a month because I wish they would do Equip Protein, which I think is cleaner, or something that's cleaner than Premier Protein. However, they are in their 90s. My grandmother cannot cook for herself. Like my grandfather is the one doing all the cooking for them after my grandmother fell. And so they're not going to get the blender out every day and do the blender and do the things. And these are already mixed up. And so to me, it's like a fine option. It's a better option than a lot of other things. Okay. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, they're like somewhere in the middle as far as like options and depending on what your resources are. So I send it to them because they're not going to use a blender. They're not going to make any other type of protein shake. It's pre-made, something that they can use. I literally buy them for people. Something like Equip is a non-whey protein. So Premier has some other junky ingredients. There are better protein shakes that are whey protein that you can have. Buy some protein powders and mix them yourself, and they're going to be a lot cleaner. And then also, I like Equip because it is a beef isolate protein and not whey protein. Whey is made from like a part of a dairy. So if you have any negative reactions to dairy, so if you have Hashimoto's and you're trying to avoid dairy or any type of dairy intolerance or issues, whey protein could cause you issues. It's why we use Equip protein. I brought a bag of Equip with me to Spain so that we could make protein pancakes for Nathaniel. And then I'm not going to put the link up here now. This is what I was trying to mention to you guys earlier. If you need Equip protein, do not buy it right now. Wait until today is April 18th. Wait until Saturday, which is April 20th, depending on when you watch this video. Equip is going to partner with me for a special sale just for my audience for my birthday, which is my birthday's Monday on the 22nd. And so I'm probably not supposed to announce this yet, but I'm just going to tell you. From April 20th to the 22nd, Equip is going to do a special discount code just for me and you guys. That is 22% off. And that's the best deal that they're going to have until Black Friday. I think Black Friday, they do 25% off, but literally it's for all customers on any items except for their subscriptions, but which this is a better discount than their subscriptions. And it's existing customers and new customers. So if you've already used my code before, you can use it again. And that's going to start on April 20th and go until the 22nd. So I will make a post I sent an email out about it today in locals. If you're in my locals group, I send emails of sales and let you guys know about that ahead of time sometimes. And then I will make a post here on YouTube as well to let you guys know, but that's going to start on Saturday. So ideally, going back to the other question, like Premier Protein, there's much better options depending on your budget, your accessibility. I think it's better than eating. It's better than under eating. And it's also better than a lot of other things that have sugar in them. So as far as like, what's the best protein drink that you can find in Walmart or Costco? Premier Protein. But there are better options than that one if your budget and resources allow. Okay, sorry, I'm catching up now. Here we go. Jen said, I'm in locals. The longest fast I did was 88-hour fast last week. That is fantastic. I have done 48 hours a lot of times. 72 hours, I've used to do like a 72-hour fast once a month, and I still like that. I think that's like a really way to, if you just like really want to kick off weight loss and you're like super stalled, a 72-hour fast is like, zoom, you're going to hit if you've been eating enough, right? Not if you've been under eating. We don't want to be fasting. Then 72 hours, boom, done. I did a 5 and 7 day fast before. I don't think I would do those ever again. I never found any benefits. Like I did those like once a year. I did like a 5 to 7 day, like literally water only. And this was also before I found like Element. So I was just mixing up my own electrolytes, which is really hard to get the ratios right when you're doing it that way. And it was very difficult and stressful. And like, I also just was so bored not eating for that long. And I didn't really ever see any more benefits. Like it didn't help my weight loss that much more. I wasn't trying to just heal some crazy thing where I needed to fast that long. And so I really wasn't that worried about it. I wouldn't do that. For Equip protein, do you use unflavored? So I'm not going to lie, I was so nervous to try the unflavored version. I just thought it was going to have some like weird, funky beef taste. And so I recently tried it and actually I really loved it. It tastes like nothing. Penelope is my 10-year-old and she is like not a stevia fan. And so the strawberry and the vanilla and the other flavored proteins, it has a little bit of a stevia aftertaste. I think the vanillas taste fantastic, and Chris and Nathaniel and I all love them. Penelope's like real picky. She likes the unflavored a lot better. And so when you're making like a wrap or a hamburger bun or something else, the unflavored works really well. It just literally tastes like nothing, which is great if you're going to use it for like a vessel, or even if you just want to like put some butter on it and have pancakes. It's a lot easier to eat. Like if you imagine sitting there and eating 4 or 5 eggs, it's probably really hard to like wrap your head around eating 4 or 5 eggs. It feels like a lot of food. But if you are eating a batch of protein pancakes, you're getting a scoop of protein and like 4 or 5 eggs. And that's like 50 grams of protein. And I could eat a whole batch of pancakes in one sitting easily. And if you're under eating protein, like this is the best way to do it. But the vanilla is great. The vanilla has like 1 carb per serving, I think it is. And it has some coconut powder and stevia is the sweetener. So if you react to stevia at all, I would recommend the unflavored version. The vanilla is great as well. The strawberry and I think there's like a salted caramel. There's an iced coffee flavor if you really just wanted to like drink something. There is what I said, strawberry and chocolate. The other flavored versions are all very mild. Like it's a very mild strawberry flavor, very mild peanut butter flavor. We've tried all of those. Our big go-tos that I constantly reorder is the unflavored and the vanilla. And my mom uses the vanilla she'll make actually like her hamburger buns and stuff just using the vanilla. It's a pretty mild flavor. I'm catching up. Well, man, I'm really behind. Sorry. It is not, Equip is on Amazon. It is on Amazon. You cannot use the discount code for Equip on Amazon. This is a good question. What do you put on the pancakes? So I would recommend, if you're trying to lose weight, I would recommend sticking with like butter. And that's it. Like Chris and I just like take one and put a little piece of butter and then eat it like a taco. And it's amazing. I'll put some cheese and bacon in it. And especially the unflavoreds, I'll put like cheese and bacon. And then you have like almost like yourself like a little breakfast sandwich. And that's amazing. So those are like the carnivore versions. Nathaniel puts peanut butter in the middle of his and he takes 2 and puts a little peanut butter sandwich. Sometimes they'll put a little whipped cream on top of them. I've seen people online and then my mom like makes like a berry compote, like takes some blueberries and raspberries and cooks them and makes like a little compote to put on top of it. If you're using stuff like peanut butter and berries and whipped cream, like the carbs are going to add up really quickly. Like you might think you're using 2 tablespoons of whipped cream, like the can says. I don't know anybody who goes through whipped cream without using like a full cup. Okay. So just know that those carbs are going to add up quickly. So I would recommend trying to stay away from like the toppings, which would then take this from being a great way to get an extra protein to all of a sudden you are it's holding you back because you've like ketofied it too much, or you're adding a bunch of carbs, or you're having inflammation with the peanut butter and all. I can't moderate peanut butter, so you don't see me doing stuff with peanut butter. So I think those are you got to be careful about that kind of stuff. But you could absolutely make 2 pancakes and put it with a burger patty, or do 2 pancakes and a sausage patty in the middle, like a McGriddle. Like you could make some pancakes with some cinnamon in it, so it's not adding carbs, and then put a sausage patty in the middle. That would be good. Make yourself like a good old breakfast sandwich. But don't buy Equip right now. I will make a post for it on Saturday. You can get 22% off. I make chaffles with the unflavored version. Yeah, there's so much you can do with that. I have the vanilla Equip in an egg frothed in it with a hint of cinnamon and a tiny bit of heavy cream. Yeah, I know a lot of people who just are trying to get rid of heavy cream, where they're putting the scoop in their coffee. Can you share the hamburger bun recipe? It's literally just the protein pancake recipe. If you look up Maria Emmerich's protein pancake recipe, I have it in a video as well. And somebody said I missed the discount code for Equip. It's not coming until, I'm giving you a preview. It's coming Saturday. Saturday, they're doing a special birthday discount for me. So stay tuned for that. There's like a regular, if you look in the description of this video, there's a 15% off coupon. But if you wait until Saturday, the 20th through the 22nd, you will get 22% off. So wait on that. Question, what setup did Chris figure out how to grill in Spain? We are not grilling in Spain. We do have an outdoor terrace, which is great. We love it. We've been eating outside and just hanging out there in the evenings, but we have not, we bought an air fryer, and we bought a pan, and we bought some knives, and we bought some, like, we had to buy several things, spatulas and tongs and like stuff that our Airbnb, or like we're staying in like a business rental. So the stuff that the rental didn't have, had like a regular pans and stuff, but not like anything substantial for us to cook in. So we spent a few $100s like buying stuff for the kitchen that we would need for the next 3 months to make this work for us. And then we decided after that, like I'd buy like a cookie sheet and, you know, some of the things that we need, that we use back home that you guys see us use all the time that they just didn't have here. We found some like charcoal grills at the store that were around like 100 or 200 euros. And then you would need charcoal, and it would just be a really big mess. And then also, you know, charcoal grilling takes a long time, and it's kind of a mess. There's a whole thing. So we kind of decided not to grill, and we've been air fryer cooking. Like, guys, you're not even going to believe that I'm telling you this, because I have been the biggest snark about air fryer ribeyes, or just air fryer steaks, beef in general. My light just went out. But we cooked a ribeye in the air fryer tonight, and it was delicious. And I filmed it for a YouTube video, and I have to eat my own words because we've been making beef in the air fryer. So air fryer, oven, skillet. We've been doing all of those, 2 of the 3 of those, like pretty much on every night. So no grills for us here. This is literally I will be very excited to get home and get to like a fresh grilled steak. But for now, we are just cooking indoors, and we're eating out more here than we do back home. So I'm excited to share. I've finished filming this video. I think just because of the timing of it, it's not going to release until the 1st of May. So, which is in like almost 2 weeks, I guess. So that will be like a what I eat. And I filmed our dinners for the whole week this week to show you guys like what's all, and it's cool. Just like, I'm such a nerd, but like I love shopping in grocery stores, and I don't care if it's another country or another state. Like if I'm traveling for work, I go check out all the grocery stores. When I'm traveling to Houston, I love going to like Central Market in Houston, or back at the, you know, different, just anywhere I'm at. I love to check out King Supers in Denver. And here I saw somebody ask about Mercadona earlier. We've gone to Mercadona, and there's an Aldi here, which is really fun to see. That's so different than the one back home, and an Aldi. Is it Aldi? Aldi's? Anyway, I love just checking out new grocery stores. It's really fun. Okay, I'm catching up. I got about 15 minutes left. I feel like you can tell a lot. Grill, cast iron pan. Can you buy one there? We bought a little mini cast iron so I can make fried cheese, which I cannot wait. This is in that YouTube video that's coming. It's like, And I actually like discovered a way that you guys can make this in the States as well. And my mind is blown. Also, if you're in the States, I think there's a link in the description as well. Gardners cheese, Wisconsin cheese that makes the bread cheese that I love, launched a new flavor today, or this week, I guess. It's like their Parmesan stuffed inside of the bread cheese. It's going to be unbelievable. So you need to check that out. But we bought that, and then we bought a bigger pan that's not cast iron and it's nonstick. Scandalous. So I think for now we're done buying things. Hopefully, we are definitely done buying things. Let me see. Yeah, I think some of you guys love to go to all these. There we go. Oh, this is so funny. This comes up a lot. Thank you, Maria. So just popping in, question, why is salt so important with your meal? I noticed that you carry one with you. So two things. Part of it is the taste. I just love salt and it tastes delicious. And I love adding flavor and salt to my food. And so I just love that. Like I have some sitting on the table here. I have a little, this is Spanish salt that we bought here. And it's like giant flakes. And I like sprinkle this on my food when I'm done. Look at this giant salt. It's so delicious. I have some Redmond's kosher salt. We brought a couple different Redmond salts with us. We brought some seasonings with us that we love. But yeah, so part of it is flavor and it's delicious. But also when you are not eating carbs, you know, you can very easily like flush out all of your natural electrolytes. And so salt helps to keep you hydrated and helps to keep you from like over flushing out your system, which is why I use salt-based electrolytes. You know, if you're using electrolytes of any kind, I've seen people talking about like other brands of electrolytes that they're like, oh, Element tastes too salty for me. I use this other brand. Well, I go look up that other brand and I'm like, yeah, it has no salt in it. There's like 100 milligrams of sodium in them. You're not drinking an electrolyte, you're drinking a vitamin water. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can, if there's no carbs and it's not, you drink what you want to drink. But salt is what is actually going to keep your body hydrated. It's like carbohydrates make you hold water and hydrate you. That's why when you first go keto or carnivore, people tend to like lose a bunch of weight in the beginning and they're like, oh, it's just water weight. Yeah, it's water weight because your body is releasing all of that water and flushing you out. That you really don't need to be, why do you need to hold water weight all the time? It's because you're eating carbs. Okay. But the downside of not eating carbs is that you can almost just like flush all of that stuff out of your system too much, which is why adding a salt-based electrolyte actually keeps you hydrated. If you're peeing constantly and if you're getting headaches, if you're getting muscle cramps, if you're getting fatigued, like you're flushing out too many of your natural electrolytes. And like people are like, we didn't, ancestrally people weren't adding, electrolytes and all this stuff. Yeah, but ancestrally, our water was not this filtered and as processed as it is. Our water is so overly filtered right now. If you went and drank water from a stream hundreds of years ago, there are minerals from the soil in that water, and it's a very mineralized water. Well, now the water you're drinking is just like so overly filtered that it takes all of those good minerals out of it, which is why adding the electrolytes can help. So I partly add, to answer your question, I partly add salt because it tastes good and I love it, but then also because it is really helpful in keeping you hydrated. And so I add Element. If you don't like as much salt taste as I do, no problem. I use an Element or half a pack or one a day unless I'm like super salty, but I also salt my food enough. So if you're adding an Element and you find that it's not enough, like you could salt your food or whatever. Yeah. Okay, I'm catching up. I got 10 minutes left. Hi, Laura. Love your channel. Just curious, do you ever count your calories at all? I never hear you speak about that. I was carnivore for over 4 years installed. Once I started counting calories, I got results. I do think calories matter. I think that we can't live our lives worrying about calories. In this theory, like you can't live your whole life tracking calories long term. I think understanding calories is very important. I am not one of those carnivores that says calories do not matter and that you can eat as much as you want and stop when you're full and you'll magically lose weight. That is not me. I've never said that. I definitely have always said that calories matter, but I also don't think that like you have to hit a certain macro or certain number of calories every day in order to lose weight. I think there is this like your activity level and your lifestyle. And that's why I'm not a big fan. I think you shouldn't undereat protein, which in all of my, go check out all of my other live streams. And I really dig into like how much protein should you be eating. But I just don't think other than that, there's this like set macros or calorie amount that you need to hit every day. I think that undereating for too long, 100% wrecks your body. It slows your metabolism down. It slows your weight loss down. If you're eating 1,000 calories a day, you're undereating. And for most people who are not extremely active, if you're eating 3,000 calories a day, you're undereating or you're overeating. 100% I can overeat on carnivore. And I have overeaten and I've gained weight multiple times. I do that all the time. And then I have to like throw a fast in. I'm like, man, I've probably been eating too much lately. I've been eating too many meals. I've been eating too much cheese. Like, all right, time to fast for a little bit. I would rather just throw in an occasional fast to balance that out than worry about tracking my calories every day. And so that's a big part of it. Also, satiety and calories like don't really go hand in hand. You could eat 6 donuts, which would be X number of calories, and you're probably going to be hungry a couple hours later because of this blood sugar spike and crash, versus if you eat the equivalent amount of calories in steak, you're not going to be hungry for like a day, I guarantee you. So, if you eat something that's like 500 calories, yeah, calories are calories. But the reason, this is also why a low calorie diet doesn't work for a couple of different reasons. Low calorie diets often don't work is because people are hungry. If they're eating chicken breast and salad all the time, you are going to be hungry. And then eventually you're going to be so hungry, you end up caving and then just like binging and overeating, which is never a good thing. I said the B word. YouTube's probably going to demonetize this video, I guarantee you. Anytime you say words like that, but the other thing is, if you are, also eating that low, you're just so hungry all the time. So, you also, if you're restricting your calories to this extreme level for so long, then eventually your metabolism is going to slow down to match the fact that you're under eating. And so those things like, yes, calories matter, but satiety matters more. You will naturally eat less if you are satiated, which is where like people criticize carnivore for saying like, it's not because they went carnivore that they lost weight. It's because they're just eating less. Yeah, that's like, why is that not a criticism? You will naturally stop overeating if you are not hungry. Like that's one of the biggest benefits for me about carnivore is that I can, I'm not hungry all the time, which makes not overeating a lot easier. And so it's like satiety is going to always matter in terms of calories. So I think it's helpful to track your calories if your weight loss is stalled. Like, don't just track your calories for like in the beginning. You should just worry about being consistent. But if your weight loss is stalled, I think you're likely undereating or overeating. Chris and I have a YouTube video that we did together called like 3 reasons your weight loss is stalled or you're not losing weight or something. Spoiler, those reasons are you're undereating, you're overeating, and then I forget the third. Maybe it's just that you're not being consistent. But undereating and overeating both can cause a lot of the same issues, and you won't know which of those things it is until you track your calories. So, totally agree. Focus on protein and fat is more important than counting calories. I agree. Yeah. I mean, listen, we all have to deal with our emotional issues with food because I don't have to be hungry to eat. I can just eat because it sounds fun, and I can eat because I'm bored, and I can eat because I'm stressed. Like carnivore's not going to fix that, but carnivore will fix you from being hungry all the time. Like you should not be hungry all the time. If you are doing carnivore or keto, the food should be satisfying enough. And then that makes fasting easier. And you will, that is one of the reasons why people are able to lose weight easier doing this way, because they're not just sitting here white knuckling, like eating carrot sticks, expecting them to like magically resolve all their cravings. Like make it easier on yourself, resolve the physical hunger first, and then you only have to worry about the emotional hunger. Stop trying to fix both things at the exact same time. because trying to fix physical hunger and emotional hunger, like that's a losing battle. That's a lot for you to tackle at the same time. Okay. Focus on fuel the body, give yourself the resolve of physical hunger, and then you can worry about fixing your emotional issues with food. You guys are so sweet. So can we eat? Somebody's like, anytime I see can we eat, the answer is I don't know. You got to figure it out. If it's not negatively affecting you, I don't remember. I think I talked about this in locals actually. I keep thinking it was on this live stream, but it's not. This is my thing, and I will leave you with this because I have 5 minutes left. Anytime somebody says, "Can I eat?" the answer is this food helping me to hit my goals, and is this food negatively affecting me? And if the answer to those is correct on both of those reasons, I always forget. Like if this food is not negatively affecting you, if it's not causing a psoriasis flare up, if it's not making your back hurt, if it's not making you bloated, if it's not causing you digestive issues, great, have that food. And is this food helping me hit my goals? Is this food making me gain weight, raising my blood sugar, causing me emotional eating issues? Is this food making me overeat? If this food is not negatively affecting you physically, and the food is not holding you back from hitting your goals, then eat what you want. This should not be, this is where the dogma gets a little bit out of control. Most of the foods that I don't eat are because I can't moderate sugar, and those foods are not helping me hit my goals. And when it comes to veggies, those foods are negatively affecting me. They're making me bloated. They're giving me back pain. They're making my knees hurt. Like you can eat whatever you want to eat. If this is where, like, who cares what the label is on what you're eating? I don't care if you call yourself carnivore or keto or meat-based or whatever. Like, understanding the label can be helpful when people are trying to get started. But what you're allowed to eat and what you're allowed to do, that's up to you. Is this food negatively affecting me? And is this food helping me hit my goals? And answer those questions like truly and honestly. I can never eat peanut butter again for the rest of my life because it negatively affects me physically. It makes my skin break out. It makes me constipated. It makes me bloated. And it does not help me hit my goals because I will eat a whole jar in one sitting and then I will gain a bunch of weight. Okay. So that's why I eat a pickle sometimes, or that's why, like, you see me like, what did I do? Something else people were like, I eat the tops of Penelope's asparagus. Like, if I eat a whole pile of asparagus, I probably would get a little bloated. I'm just not trying to do that. But yeah, can I eat? Is this food negatively affecting me? And is this food helping me hit my goals? So those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. And I think going back to what we talked about earlier with the person who said that they had psoriasis, like, yeah, you might need to go, but to figure out, is this food negatively affecting me? You might need to do an elimination protocol where you go down to just doing like meat and salt and keeping it very, very simple for a while to see. Asparagus, your pee will be green. No, your pee smells from, see, this light is dead. I can't do it. Your pee smells from asparagus. It doesn't turn green. I love dairy, but my body definitely says no. Yeah. And that's why, listen, I'll never cut out dairy. I would be skinnier if I cut out dairy. And I should cut out dairy, but like there's a lot of happiness that dairy brings me. So I have to this is my other tip. I treat dairy like a condiment. I sprinkle a little feta cheese on my chicken. I have a little cheese as a side or a piece of cheese as a dessert. So cheese to me is a condiment, not as a part of my meal. I can't have it like as a bulk of my meal. So that is the biggest part of it. So yeah, grilled cheese. I know. I'm telling you, wait for this video to come out. And it's going to be amazing. So fun. Thanks guys for hanging out. We have some fun plans this weekend. We are going to take a little trip to a village here in Spain. And go see, like, we're going to go to the village in Spain called Segovia that is famous for their cochinillo, which is the suckling pig. When you guys saw the suckling pig that we did in my last video, that was a fun experience. And we're going to go to this other village, and we're not going to get a whole pig again this time, but we'll definitely like have another portion of it, do a little fun stuff for my birthday this weekend. Keep an eye out for that Equip sale. I will keep you posted on how that goes. And yeah, I will, I'll jump in here next month. I do a live stream every single week on locals. We encourage each other, we support each other. So if you want more support, if you want, I will post that YouTube video that I'm talking about. I will post that early for this group to watch as soon as I'm done editing it. And then I keep them updated on like all my sales. So if you join for free in locals, you don't like, you can join for free and you will still see when I post about sales, this equip sale, I'll post it there first. And you can read all of my daily posts. I post in there for people who join for free. And then if you become a supporting member, then you can watch all my videos early. You can join the live streams, and then you can post questions that myself and Chris is super involved over there. So especially like, it's not only women. Chris is a lot more involved over there and answers questions as well. So thank you guys for hanging out. It's getting dark here. It's 9 o'clock at night in Spain. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and have a healthy weekend. And remember, don't wait till Monday. Bye, guys.